Welcome to patriotTV, your home of information and entertainment. We are here to give you the usual update about sports, transfers, and reviews from last season as the Premier League is concerned. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Wale.
Good day, everybody. It's good to be back again on patriotTV and also to give you the content that we have today. Glad to have you join us once again.
Okay, so we are taking a face-off from last season here. We have a comparison between the treble that Man United got some years back and the treble that Man City got this year.
Well, it's an interesting thing because we consider that 1999 was a special year for Manchester United and 2023 has also been a special year for Manchester City with both teams winning the treble. So the question is, which treble do you find more interesting in both of them?
Because we know that both teams, they had depth, team depth during their time. The likes of, Ryan Giggs were on top form. Now we have the Haaland, the Kevin De Bruyne. So we need to, compare the fact, the work rates between the players, the team, the coach's experience as the treble is concerned.
Yeah, and in context also, if you look at both teams were actually very strong teams. But of course, if you compare both of them, Man City will actually give an edge over them because they were very domineering. For the Man City, we easily won the league. But for Man U in 1999, they were chased all the way to the last day by Arsenal before they were declared winner. So it was so many things to look into in both teams.
Okay, so talking about Arsenal was actually involved, in the pursuit of Manchester United in 1999, and they were also involved in Man City this season. Probably a consistency of pursuit for Arsenal. So if we are taking a look at the depth of the team, comparison between Manchester United 1999 treble and Man City's 2003 treble, should we take it from the goalkeeping aspect or we start from the striking aspect?
We can start from anyone. So let's start from the back. I think that
okay, so for the goalkeeping aspect, Manchester United had Schmeichel.
Yeah, they had Schmeichel in 1999.
Compared to the fact that Ederson is here in 2023, you know that the football pattern changed over the years.
Yeah.
Because the Premier League developed a kind of pattern as different race of coach came in. And the type of pattern that Alex Ferguson used back in 1999 was way different from the one that Pep Guardiola used in 2023.
Yes, also, and you also consider, as at that time, Peter Schmeichel was probably and unarguably the best goalkeeper in the world.
Obviously.
At that time. But Ederson is also one of the top goalkeepers in the world also, but of course, he's not the best goalkeeper in the world at this present time. But of course, if you are counting top 10 goalkeepers in the world at this moment, Ederson definitely has to be among them.
Okay, so if you are mentioning the teams that were actually the back line of Manchester United that season, can you vividly remember?
Yeah, for Manchester United at that time, they had Gary Neville at the right back, then Jaap Stam, then they had a Jensen, which nobody actually knew much about. Yeah, nobody knew much. They had a Jensen partnering Jaap Stam as a centre back then. Then they also had the left back, they had Dennis Irwin at left back then. And one thing to note was that, as at that time,
Gary
Neville was from the class of 92, so he was one of the very young stars mixed with an experienced back line between Jaap Stam, Jensen and Irwin.
Okay, so if you are comparing the likes of Akanji, Kyle Walker,
Yeah, and it's also interesting to know that for Man City, they played a back four of 4 centre-backs rather than the traditional 2 full-backs, 2 centre-backs. So they played a complete line of 4 centre-backs in Stones, Akanji, Laporte, and Ake. So they played them in that format, 4 centre-backs with Stones inverting into the midfield. So when they are on the attack, Stones inverting into the midfield, and then they had a 3 centre-back holding the back line. Yes.
Okay, so if we are comparing a defender in Man City's 2023 squad with the likes of Jaap Stam, who would you pick from the Man City back four?
From the Man City back four, I will pick Aymeric Laporte to partner Jaap Stam in centre back. Of course, I'll also go with Gary Neville because it was everything the right back should be. Though it's a close call between Gary Neville and Kyle Walker for me, but since Kyle Walker
obviously.
Yeah, because of the pace. But because Gary Neville was more all-round, both attack-wise and defense, I'll go for him. But for the left back, I think I'll actually stick with Ake because it was so solid defensively at the left back position.
Okay, so we are moving on to the midfield. You know, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne in this 2023 regime.
Kevin De Bruyne was absolutely unplayable. But credit to Man City, the fact that Kevin De Bruyne got injured
earlier in the match.
In that match. Same thing that he got injured in the match against Chelsea, but they lost.
Yeah.
But this time around, Guardiola seems to have learned from his mistake.
And actually put something down.
He Foden played. He filled that capacity very well, and so they were able to win in the long run. So for the midfield, that is actually quite tough because for Manchester United, you had the likes of
Roy Keane.
You had Roy Keane in that team. You had I've forgotten a few of them. You also had Beckham and Ryan Giggs. Then
playing on the flanks.
Playing on the flanks for them. So compared to the three midfielder of
Manchester,
Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, and then Ilkay Gundogan.
The joker that gave Man City the edge towards the end of the season.
Yes, exactly. Ilkay Gundogan. So for me, it's going to be a tough sell because you just can't. You had a Dennis Beckham who could pick out his teammates with pinpoint accuracy from anywhere on the
and
field.
the accurate free kick ability.
And you also had the Ryan Giggs who could dribble the length of the pitch,
which is left leg.
With that left leg, and you know, especially when you consider that FA Cup semi-final against Arsenal. They just had so many moments. Arsenal had the chance to go ahead after 1-1. They had the chance to go ahead with a penalty. Schmeichel saved it. And at the very end, Ryan Giggs took the ball from his own
responsibility for the whole Manchester United team.
Every single member of the Arsenal team, even David Seaman was dribbled, and then he scored at the very end. It was just so magical. And I think that's one thing that the Manchester United treble had. They had so many magical moments. Unlike Man City, where people just expected them to just win, you know. But Man U had a lot of magical moments in their own. So for that midfield, I'm definitely going to pick a Kevin De Bruyne. I'm definitely going to pick a
Ryan Giggs, eh?
No, I'm going to pick a Roy Keane simply because of his leadership capability and his defensive. You know, he had that mental strength, and he had that even when things were not going their way, he was still able to pick up the boys and push them forward. So I'm definitely going to pick those two. And then between Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Ilkay Gundogan, and
Kevin De Bruyne.
Rodri. I'm definitely not taking Rodri. So the last spot was going to be between Giggs, Beckham, and
Kevin De Bruyne.
Ilkay Gundogan.
Okay, so we are looking at the striking position. Obviously, this year we had Haaland scoring most goals than any other striker, breaking records back to back.
Definitely. And if you also consider back then, Man United had a double strike partnership of Dwight York and the Cole, and together they scored 54 goals in all competitions. And
we also had a super sub that came in and did wonders.
You have super subs in Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who also came in to score important goals.
Champions League final, obviously.
Champions League final, of course, they both came in and they both scored. But compared to Erling Haaland, who single-handedly scored 51 goals in all competitions for Manchester City in that season, that is just so superb. And then you have a Julian Alvarez who scored 15 goals in all competitions. Then you also
coming from the bench.
From the bench, exactly. And then you have a Phil Foden, a Mahrez, who also scored about 12 goals
and a couple of assists.
With assists, and it was just, and also Gundogan, who also scored about 10 or 11 goals. You know, they just had so many goal scorers. So, but for my striker, I'm definitely going to go with Erling Haaland because I know Erling Haaland is the type of striker that even
the pace.
Sir Alex Ferguson will not reject. He will do everything he had to do to get him in his team. Okay,
so a quick one. If you are picking your first 11 from the 1999 set of Manchester United that you don't want the treble, and the Manchester City that won the treble this year, how would you select the lineup?
For the lineup, I think I will go for my goalkeeper. I'm definitely going to go with Schmeichel.
With this new evolution type of football.
Yes.